Welcome back, toy tubers, toy collectors, toy hunters, back to 20 Hunting Figs. Back with another toy haul, toy review, and I know at the beginning of the video you saw that I went to Eternia Dreams and Toys down in Frederick, which is technically their second location, and their other one is way up in Frederick. I think it's like an hour and a half away, which I was excited about because finally there was another toy store near where I can go to and actually toy hunt. Now, this place was pretty cool, but I feel like it was more for those old school toy hunters that really collect nostalgia things. But they did have Cosmic Legion, and I forgot Crucible, Cosmic Legion and something Crucible, I forgot about. Put it up there on the screen if I remember. But those were pretty dope, and it had me thinking of if I ever stop collecting these Marvel, DC, NECA figures, that I wouldn't mind dipping my toes into the Cosmic Legion and the Savage Crucible. I think that's what it's called, Savage Crucibles, and starting something new. But they were more into that. So the Savage Crucible, Cosmic Legions, He-Man, G.I. Joe, Star Wars, that was more of their specialty, and then everything else was old school. So if you were looking for like updated like NECA of everything else, they really didn't have it. They had NECA Turtles again. When it came to like NECA Turtles, they had the newer stuff, but I was a little disappointed because they did have the Kino with the bike, but I didn't feel like paying that aftermarket price. But I would have depending on the price. I am looking for a Toka and Razar. They didn't have it, shockingly, so I didn't pick anything up. The only thing I did pick up was this awesome Spider-Man number 13 from Tom McFarlane. This is pretty much, I forgot what the other issue was, but this is kind of like the recreation of the other issue he did with the Red Spider-Man, which I think this Maximus Spider-Man is based on. I don't know if it's this head sculpt or the other head sculpt that comes with him. So I read through this one. I want to see if I can find the second issue because it looks like it's a two-parter. And if you haven't read this has Morbius in it. And what I think is interesting is that the character that's in it, that's kidnapping the bums and taking them to Morbius to feed, it looks like the template for the clown because it looks just like him. But I think that once the 3 comics I sent in to get graded come back and I go and pick them up in Ashburn, I think I'm gonna take this one to get graded as well, to put that. So I would love to hang that up also. So I picked that up, and I found this at Walmart. I think I had him on pre-order, so I don't know if it's gonna come in. I might just have to leave him in the box, but finally I got a Brian Pillman from the Heart Foundation 1997, and that was dope. I actually found him in one of my Walmarts, so I decided to pick him up. I think he was the only one there, and I was like, man, I need to find a British Bulldog from Heart Foundation. And when I was in Eternia Dreams, what did I find? I found the British Bulldog from the Heart Foundation era. So far, I do believe I have a Bret Hart from the Heart Foundation era, so that's pretty dope. I want to see if I could find like a toy wheelchair to recreate. If those of you who know, in '97, that infamous super kick that Shawn Michaels gave Bret Hart when he said you don't have to jam, and Shawn Michaels was so pissed because they didn't air the super kick. Those of you who watched those past docu-series that saw how, when they were beefing in real life behind the scenes. And I want to see, I don't think they have I think they might have a Bret with the jean shorts, the shirt, and the sneakers, because that's what he was wearing when he was in the wheelchair, when he was with the Heart Foundation. But I don't think we're gonna get an Owen Hart really soon unless his wife, I guess, gives him the rights to, which is weird because I would think that WWE owns the rights to the Owen Hart character, so I don't know how that works. But that would be cool to get a Owen Hart Ultimate Edition or an Elite Edition with the 2 Slammies and Intercontinental belt and maybe a tag team. But I don't know if I have a European belt to give them because I believe at one point they were both the tag team champions, European and Intercontinental. I don't know, but I would still need a Jim Neidhart to complete. Like, that would be an awesome show to have the 1997 Heart Foundation. So I would say 75 complete of the Heart Foundation. So that was a dope pickup. And just on a side note, those who follow me on TikTok and Instagram, you know, I finally posted up some new photos for video photography, and I finally busted out the Rose out his package. And he is the son of Kingpin, so I'm probably gonna start putting him into more scenes with the Kingpin and Spider-Man. So I've been having fun messing with the Rose as well. And I know I'm late to the party with this one, and I know this was released, I believe, last year. Forgot what's the name of this vehicle, but I decided to pick it up because what I realized is I don't have any vehicles to do figure photography in, and I thought, like, I'm getting all these Batmobiles, but it'll be awesome to do some figure photography with the Batmobile, at least chasing some bad guys, and I could do some figure photography with Spider-Man and definitely the Hulk, Fantastic Four. So this is definitely a dope vehicle this is a Cobra vehicle. It does come with a Cobra figure, so I have them already inside, sitting down. It wasn't that difficult to put this together. It was $75. Whoever collects Joe figures, they're pretty lucky because they come out with like some of the best vehicles. So that's why I can't. The only way I'll get these vehicles if it's the way it is, if I see it in Walmart and they re-release it. So if they come out with another vehicle or a motorcycle, I don't really do boats. I would love to get like a helicopter, a chopper, or a plane for figure photography. But I love how they're kind of updating this. Like, you have the side view mirrors with actual mirrors. You actually have this to kind of like pull things out, pull debris out. You have those right there, that works. Obviously you saw the doors, they go up. You have details. You even have the shifter that moves inside, which is pretty dope. I mean, you can go online, of course, and see a million of these reviews. I heard on the old version of this, they didn't come with the missiles, but the missiles move, they close up. So it comes with the fire effects. That looks like it's being fired. Comes with a little fire extinguisher in the back. Little shovels that you can remove as well. Tires move, they're rubber. There's a piece where you can actually haul another vehicle behind it, but I primarily got this really just for the figure photography. So this is gonna be used as a all-around vehicle for anybody, whether it's a Marvel, I don't even care if it's DC, Predator, even if it was a WWE scene that I was doing, but I decided to pick that up. But that was a couple of weeks ago. It wasn't in this recent haul. Now, I did pick up, now Wonder Woman with Gal Gadot was one of my favorite superhero movies, not the second one, but I didn't know that they came out with a Steve Trevor, so I said I definitely have to pick up that Wonder Woman #1 so I can keep these two together. See that there? So that was pretty dope. I saw that at one of the Targets, so I had to pick up Steve Trevor. Also, I was at a Barnes & Noble, and being that I'm into art, I like picking up these, the art of certain like animated series and movies. So I did pick up the art book of X-Men 97. So, and something like a coffee table book, but something that I would keep on like a table in like the game room. So I have that. And these are oldies but goodies. I decided to just complete the X-Men 97 line, at least the second wave. So I did pick up Magneto, and I did pick up the Executioner. So I'm gonna be taking them out the box soon, closing them up. I did pick them up at FYE, so it's like buy one, get the other one 25% off. And those of you who know, FYE has ridiculous prices, so I ended up paying regular price for both of them together. So that's what's so ironic. So I haven't been able to find the Goblin Queen, so if I find her, I'll pick her up and then I'll have this completed wave. As far as the first wave, I'm still missing that Storm and did Jubilee come out in that? I think Jubilee came out in that original wave, which is fine. I did pick up the original Storm with the long hair, but I think if I find the X-Men 97 Storm at a decent price, I might just pick it up. And I do have the new Jubilee. I have pre-ordered her on Amazon, so she'll be coming in. It looks like they pushed the date on their release in October on Amazon, so whatever, it is what it is. So at least I'll have a Jubilee. And I have the Cable that's gonna be released on October 1st, so that's still gonna come on time, so I have that pre-order. I was gonna get the Wolverine with the coat and the regular pants, but I don't know. But then technically I'll have my X-Men team. Oh yeah, with the exception of the original Magneto. That's who I regret not getting when this series came out. If I could find a Magneto at a decent price, I might just go ahead and pick him up as well. But technically I'll have at least the original core X-Men, at least from the animated series, which is dope. So I have that. Now another thing I was thinking is I want to start doing some figure photography with the aliens and the Predator. Specifically the aliens, I saw that Alien Romulus released the Big Chap again, even though they're not calling it the Big Chap, they're calling it the XX201 or whatever the official name it technically is in the movie. So I might end up picking it up. I would like it to be released in Target at a cheaper price, but because they haven't re-released any of the aliens figures from NECA in a while, I don't know if they're ever gonna re-release them. I decided to go and get some of these G.I. Joe figures for figure photography to fit in for those Space Marines, since I don't have them. So I did decide to get Sergeant Stalker. So I'm gonna use him as one of them. And I'm gonna get, I forgot what that other soldier is called. I think he's also in the infantry. If I remember, I'll put that here as well. I'm gonna go pick him up, and I'm gonna try to do some figure photography with the aliens too. So I just thought of some cool ideas to have. So I decided to pick him up, another oldie but goodie. So I have him there. And then of course, did pick up some pops. Some of these are from my office, of course. I love Captain America. Captain America, my favorite character, as well as the Hulk. They need to come out with more Hulk pops. I don't see a lot of Hulk pops. But anyway, obviously I have the Steve Rogers / Captain America pop from the Infinity Saga. So I know probably a lot of you guys have seen that out there. Like, these are the only exception pops that I get. Either they're like nostalgic movies that I loved growing up, or my favorite character, which is Blade, Captain America, and Hulk. I used to love Spider-Man, but not enough to really get a pop in the pants. But I don't think I have any Spider-Man pops, do I? Unless it's like being like Christmas themed or like a holiday theme, I'll get it to put in my office during the holidays. But anyway, and I have the zombie Captain America from the Marvel Zombies that's being released. And they have the zombie Hawkeye and the Blade Knight. I didn't know that they combined Blade and Moon Knight, I guess, together. So I did have to pick up Blade. So Blade is one of my favorite characters, and it's a shame we don't get more Blade action figures. So I do have the Blade from Deadpool and Wolverine, and then I have this blade. So we need more blades. We need more blade action figures. Oh, and then I saw this, which I thought it was pretty cool. They came out with a Cap Gwen, so I'm gonna put her in my office as well from the Gwenverse. So that was pretty dope. And let's see. I think I'm almost done with that. Let me see. I don't want to leave anything out for you guys before I do the review portion, but finally found it. Studio Series Megatron from the Transformers movie, aka 6, 1, whatever you want to call it. Finally got this bad boy. Found it at one of the Targets, so I had to pick it up. There you go. So that's pretty dope. So I don't care that he turns into a tank. I know there's been a whole big thing where people are mad that he turns into a tank. They think that's whack. They want him to turn into the gun. Even as a kid, I thought it was weird that he turns into a gun and shrinks. I thought it does make sense that they updated it for him to turn into a tank. I guess it was politically correct to turn him into a tank because they didn't want to turn into a gun because of guns. You don't like guns, blah, 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 whatever. If he turned into a gun, I don't care. It is what it is. He's probably going to stay like this, but I think I'm going to play around with it on the show. Occasionally leave him in his form and then change him into the tank from here and there. But I'm glad because it's funny how I got a Galvatron before I got a Megatron, but I do not have a Megatron. So I'm happy that I finally have a Megatron and an Optimus Prime to put together on a shelf. So that is awesome. I'm really happy that I finally got that. And last but not least, the prized possession to go with my Ronin collection, the Ghost Brothers. I think I'm gonna keep this box, or maybe I just might keep the cover. I'm gonna see if I can get put it a nice, what do you call it? Frame, because I think that's dope. So if you can see, you can tell it's like a hologram shelf. You can see the last Ronin right there, and then changing, you see those three brothers, Leo, Donnie, and Raph. For those who care, don't care, or for those who already know, the last Ronin is Michelangelo. This is a dystopian future, New York City, where the three brothers have gotten killed in action. And they finally released the Ghost Brothers. So this is gonna look awesome on the shelf. I have some ideas of what I wanna do. It looks like they're translucent plastic. I saw this at Target. I know some people have this already that I seen Toy Tubers a couple of months ago, but this is something that you have to order online from NECA. But now it's been coming up in some Targets for $100. So you see them there. Sorry for the glare, but like I said, I'm gonna bust these out the box and review it for you guys. So here we go. These are the last Ronins. Good brothers, so let's bust them out the box. All right, so I got these bad boys out the package, and this is should be a simple, quick review. So as you can see, there's really nothing much to it. Each turtle comes with their weapon. We see Donnie with his bow staff, Leo with his katana swords, and we have Raph with his sais. And then the inner shell, they all come with a pair of 6 hands, and it's all the same. Two kind of like, you could see straight pointing hands, kind of like almost grippy hands, and I think these are almost close fist hands, and they all come with the same hands. So nothing different for each turtle, no other accessories, quite simple, which is good because it's straight to the point. They're ghost turtles, they're supposed to be spirits, illusions, whatever you want to call it. These are the turtles right here. As you can see, it's almost like a translucent plastic. I don't know if they have the regular turtles that look like this, but these are kind of awesome looking turtles. I think they have them regular that look like this, but I'm not sure. If you guys know, please let me know. But we see that Leo and Donnie kind of have the same belt, almost, yeah, with the same like the same duty belt pockets. They do have different knee pads. The knee pads they can move, but I'll show you guys in a second. but he only has his upper leg or lower leg taped, where Leo doesn't have anything, and Raph has most of his foot taped up. And then if we look up, his shell's kind of different. You see Raph is kind of cracked on top, and on the left side, as well as Donnie, and I think they have the same scope there as well. And he has a different belt for his size, and the strap across the chest is different between Leo and Donnie. And then, you know, the face sculpts are definitely different. You could tell them apart right here. And I think Raph is always the beefier looking one. You probably can't really tell from the camera. And then you see Donnie has the goggles, which has been a constant thing as of late years, giving him the goggles. And as far as the fist, I think they're all taped up the same, right? And I think his biceps are taped up halfway. Let me see if it's both. His is on both arms, his is only on the right, and his is not at all. He has one elbow pad on his left, no elbow pads, and he has 2 elbow pads. Let's look at the shells on the back. You can see he has the holder for his bow staff for Donnie, and we have his katanas holder for Leo. And let's see what his shell looks like. I guess all their shells kind of look the same, slight differences and variation with the hash marks, with the drawings. You can see the details in the legs. So let me get into the articulation. All right, guys, so I figure I'll keep this real short and simple and use my favorite turtle, Raphael, to show you the articulation. So it does look like it's pinless. I know a lot of people don't like when they show pins. Me, it doesn't matter. I could care less about the pin, but it's definitely pinless and typical double jointed elbows. Now he is beefy, so you just got to be careful. I did buy the 2-pack shredder, and I noticed those joints are so stiff, especially to take off the arms, that I actually popped the little peg. Okay, this was a lot easier, maybe because of the material. I feel because it's translucent, it's a little softer, but this peg kind of came off the little hinge that it stuck on to turn. But I was able to kind of like separate this to kind of fit this back. And the other choked figure, I think I may have mentioned in the other video, I broke the foot just trying to adjust it, so be careful. I know some people warm it up with a blow dryer or put it in warm water, but anyway, so you just got to be careful, guys. So he is double jointed, as you can see there. Oh, I thought it was pinless. It's not pinless. My bad. You can see the pins there. If that matters to anyone, doesn't matter to me. I actually never really noticed the pins or to talk about pins until that I noticed a lot of YouTubers say it. Head articulation. Head doesn't really move too much. Kind of a left to right. Okay, so it can look up about that much. Looks down about that much. Can tell pretty good from side to side. It was just a little stiff. I thought it was moving, but he looks up pretty good, so I like that. As far as the legs, you do have the knee pads can move on these characters. I guess if you took it apart, you could take it off. So you see the back, it does move. So it looks like these can come off. So you just probably gotta be careful not to like snap it or break it. I don't know if that can damage over time, but it is double jointed, but because the knee pad is in the way, I think it gets in the way. So unfortunately my video did run out of space, so my camera did. So what I was trying to say is when you're bending the knee, you want to be careful. I don't know if the knee pads will break, but as you can see, I have them posed up like this real quick. Other than that, there's really nothing else to really explain about these turtles. In hand, in person, they're very awesome. As you can see, like I said, they all have the same
hand sculpts. So they're interchangeable. So this is gonna be a real fun one to pose with the Last Ronin themselves. This is definitely a good pickup if you're into the Last Ronin line. And if you see it at your Target, definitely pick it up. But if you made it this far in the video, please like and subscribe, comment, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I hope you continue to go out there, have fun and hunt. I know it's been a lot of craziness out in the news and social media, but just keep positive. Just keep with the hobby, because I know it, can bring us some good joy and good times, when things are feeling down. But like I said, hopefully you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next hunt and on the next toy review. Everyone, be safe out there.